Good morning, dear students. So today we are going to begin with chapter 5, General Principles and Processes of Isolation of Elements. And today is our lecture 15. As you all know, there are certain elements which occur freely in nature, as for example carbon, gold, sulfur, noble gases, etc. So in this chapter, actually how do we obtain metals, and that we are going to study in detail, extraction of elements. So metallurgy, the steps involved in metallurgy: concentration of ore, isolation of the metal from the concentrated ore, and purification of the metal. So these are the steps which are involved or included during metallurgy. So metallurgy is the phenomenon which is being involved for the technological and scientific steps during the process of extraction of metals. So as you all know, you have studied in lower classes what is the difference between minerals and ores. Okay, you must have heard the statement, all ores are minerals, but all minerals are not ores. Actually, minerals are the naturally occurring substances obtainable by mining, but ores are those in which the quantity of the metal is present. So only from the ores we are going to extract the metal. So all ores are minerals, but all minerals are not ores. And the processes involved during metallurgy, as I have said, these three are the steps. So we are going to discuss one by one. First of all, concentration of the ore. So before we start concentration, the important metals like aluminium, iron, copper, zinc, let us recall their important and chief ores. So as you all know, aluminium, it is the most abundant metal found in the earth crust. However, overall if we see, it is the third most abundant element, but amongst metal, aluminium is most abundant metal, and its chief and important ore is bauxite, Al2O3 dot XH2O. Alumina is Al2O3, but hydrated alumina becomes bauxite. Now so far as iron is concerned, its oxides are very important. Fe2O3, as you all know, this is hematite, and Fe3O4, this is magnetite. Then FeS2, this is called iron pyrite. Then siderite, ferric carbonate. These are the important and chief ores of iron. So far as copper is concerned, then copper CuCO3 dot CuOH whole twice. This is melasite, basic copper carbonate. Then CuFeS2, this is copper pyrite. Similarly, zinc, ZnCO3, this is also known as calamine. Then zinc sulfide, ZnS, and mercury has got only one chief and important ore, HGS, which is also known as cinnabar. Okay, so let's begin with concentration of the ore. There are certain steps which are involved, and depending upon the type of the ores and the ores which are contaminated with impurities, which are actually known as gangue. Okay, so how do we remove these contaminated particles, impurities which are known as gangue from the ores? For that only this concentration of ores is required. So for concentration of ores, the first one is hydraulic washing. Okay, hydraulic washing. So as the name itself suggests, you can see hydraulic. This is also known as gravity separation method. Why? Because this is based on the principle that the ore and the impurities, they have got different density. So a running stream of water is given, and the impurities or the gangue being lighter, they flow away, and so that the ores remain over there. So this is what the principle of hydraulic washing is there. Now the second one is magnetic separation. Okay. So magnetic separation, you can see that the name itself says magnetic separation. So in this case, either the ore or the impurities must be magnetic in nature. After hydraulic washing, which is also known as gravity separation, this was there in this year's question, CBSE class 12. In MCQ questions it was given that what is the name for this. If the densities are different, so that is nothing but gravity separation or hydraulic washing. After that, the third one is froth flotation process. Okay, froth flotation process. Few things are very important. First of all, this process is used for sulfide ores. So froth flotation process, this is done for sulfide ores. Secondly, collectors and stabilizers. While studying from the book, you will find these two important terms over here during froth flotation process. So collectors and stabilizers. Collectors, non-wettability they provide, and for this generally we use pine oil and fatty acids. Okay. So far as stabilizers are concerned, here we use cresols and aniline. I hope everybody remembers the formula of cresol and aniline. Benzene it is C6H5NH2, and cresol in benzene OH, that is phenol, and if methyl is attached, depending upon the positions, if CH3 is attached through ortho, this is orthocresol, metacresol, paracresol, and so on. Apart from this, one more important term is that is depressants. In exercise, one question is there: what is the role of depressants during froth flotation process? So in this case, depressant, it separates the two sulfide ores. As for example, suppose PBS and ZNS. If these two sulfide ores are mixed, they are combined, then for these two we use NaCN as a depressant. Okay, what is the role of this sodium cyanide over here? It allows PBS to come along with the froth, but ZNS remains as such, and so that these two sulfide ores can easily be separated out. Okay, now the fourth one is leaching. Leaching. Leaching, it's a chemical process. Okay, so in this case the ore must be soluble in a suitable solvent, as for example aluminium. Okay, so alumina, it combines with sodium hydroxide, also known as Bayer's process, and it forms a salt NaAlOH4, sodium tetrahydroxoaluminate. Second step, this question was also asked this year, my dear children, that explain the leaching of aluminium. And this sodium tetrahydroxoaluminate is being treated with carbon dioxide, and it forms Al2O3.XH2O plus sodium bicarbonate, and this can also be written as AlOH whole thrice, that is nothing but aluminium hydroxide. And finally, this Al2O3.XH2O upon heating gives pure alumina, and this water is being separated out. So leaching is being done specifically for aluminium, And you should remember that there are two more metals, that is silver and gold. They can also be leached out, and the process is also known as cyanide process. So as I said, that other than aluminium, leaching can also be used for silver as well as gold. This is also very important reaction, and this question was there in 2018. Okay, so here you can see M stands for metal, cyanide ion in presence of water and air, MCN2 minus. And here this metal, it can be either silver or gold, and then it is being treated with zinc. Then it forms tetracyanidozincate and the metal is separated out. So leaching generally we use for aluminium as well as silver and gold. So learn this is very important. Either chemical equations involved during leaching for aluminium, or which other metals can also be concentrated by the process of leaching. So these two metals are silver or gold. So my dear students, these four processes actually, the first was hydraulic washing, which is also known as gravity separation. Second was froth flotation process, and then magnetic separation, and finally leaching. After this step, after the concentration of the ore, they should be converted into a form or a compound which could be easy or which could be viable for the process of reduction. So after that they are converted into oxides. So for that conversion there are two important processes. You have studied in junior classes also. One is roasting and the other one is calcination. Okay, so calcination, this is done for oxides or carbonates. Okay, whereas roasting is done for sulfide ores. That's very important. This is the first point of difference between roasting and calcination. So roasting is applicable for sulfides, whereas calcination for oxides and carbonates. Then roasting is done in presence of air, whereas calcination, this is limited supply of air or absence of air. Okay, so oxides of iron, Fe2O3, Fe3O4, zinc oxide, zinc carbonate, they are used over here. And for sulfide ores, PbS, ZnS, copper pyrite, iron pyrite, etc., they are being done during the process of roasting. After this, we are going to study the reduction process, and for reduction, thermodynamic principles are involved, and there a very important graphical representation also is there, which is known as Ellingham diagram. So next class we are going to study about the thermodynamic principles of metallurgy. So today only the introductory parts we could complete. So all of you come prepared, learn all the chief and important ores of these metals and the steps which are involved during concentration. Thank you very much.